Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to this month's Legacy Mastermind training. If you are new here, my name is Sheena Chater Wheeler, and I am your host. And I host you this training the last Sunday of every month from Avondale. We bring everybody together to share tips and tricks on entrepreneurial like thing as I've met a lot of people along the way doing what I'm doing, and I want to bring everybody together and share all of this amazing knowledge that everybody has. So anybody can join. This is being recorded. If you join on, it's great to have your cameras on so that we can see you. But if not, that is okay too. So each month we bring you a different topic from a different speaker based on entrepreneurial like things. And this month we have Lyndsay Schlarbaum. Did I pronounce that correctly? Schlarbaum?
Schlarbaum.
Schlarbaum. So Lindsay and I met only a few months ago at a market, and I met her as Snow White. And as I read through her bio, like knowing her for a short amount of time, it really, as soon as she told me her story, I was like, okay, you need to come on our training and share this. So Lindsay she's a mom first of, I think, two babies. Two babies?
Two
Yes.
kids. Yeah, two girls.
So she's currently let me see, she's the current manager of Dream Parties NL. After we had her come on and I asked her to come train, she was like, Sheena, you know I don't own this company, right? I was like, yes. That is okay because you are still an entrepreneur at heart. So Lindsay went and got 2 degrees in psych and in criminology. And like me, she's a psychology brain lover at heart. But she was really a performer. At the early age of 6, she was singing and dancing and being around the piano, and her home was like raised with music. So she kind of always knew that was inside. But then she was a stay-at-home mom following her education for 6 years when she saw a casting call from Dream Parties to be a princess. So Lindsay kind of jumped on that. And although she never imagined at 33 that she'd be performing for a living, she also has like featured her arts at the Majestic, festivals, events, theater productions. And it just seems handy that she's become a princess because she is following her dream. So Lindsay is on today to train on, getting rid of the traditional beliefs that you do these education degrees and then you go get your job in one of these fields, and that she took a leap of faith, following her gut, ignoring the doubt, and that's what she's going to train on today. So without further ado, Lindsay, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheena. It has been an absolute pleasure just meeting you and getting to know you. So thanks for asking me to do this. It was really funny because when Sheena asked me, I was like, yeah, sure. And then I came home and I was like, oh, I don't own this company. What do I have to say or what do I have to share? And then, so then I was like, I don't own the company, right? And anyway, and then when she shared the topic with me, it was like dispelling self-doubt. And I was like, self-doubt, but I have that all the time. I can't speak about that. um, so, and I mentioned that actually to the owner last time. She's like, just say that. That sounds very, it's very authentic. So I'm going to talk about it, but that doesn't mean I'm a, got it down pat or got it perfect because none of us do. We're all figuring it out, right? So as Sheena mentioned, I went to school to do psychology. I had every intention of actually getting my PhD and being a counselor. But I'm a little bit crazy and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And so when I graduated, my husband jokingly said, we're newlyweds because he hadn't seen each other for all that time I was in school because I was just like, had to be a straight A student and all that. So I was like, you know what, I'll take a year off and then I'll go back. But that's never how it worked out. So so yeah, I took the year off and then I ended up becoming a mom and just not going back. So I've been a stay-at-home mom since 2017. And then around, when Annalise was 3, so this would have been 2024, I was kind of like, I mean, I struggled a lot with postpartum depression and I was kind of just needing, just really consumed in my identity as a mother. And so every time I fell short or felt like I wasn't delivering on that, it was like an identity crisis, really. It was kind of what I went through because I was like, I set out to do one thing and I didn't do the thing I set out to do. Now I'm a mom and I love being a mom and it brings me so much joy. But at the same time, it was like, it was just all encompassing. I didn't have anything else that was like defining me and making me me and driving my passion. So I spoke to a friend and was talking about, maybe going back to work, and she's actually a career counselor. And it's just so funny how the timing of everything works. She was like, well, I'm a career counselor. I can get you back. You have so much to offer. And I was like, I have nothing to offer. So talk about the doubt, right? Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have nothing to give because I have no experience for the last 6 years. Like, who's going to want to hire me? Plus the daycare situation. I hadn't applied for daycare, and that takes so long to get in. Anyhow, so literally the next day, she was like, Lyndsay, I saw a casting call for Elsa. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you would be perfect for this. Because she knows that I'm very into music and that I've been singing for most of my life. And it's really funny because her and her husband, we do karaoke with them. And her husband literally picks songs and says, I want to hear you sing this. And it's like, okay, that's whatever. So I was like, I don't know, because all of the performers at dream parties are professionals. They've all trained, at music school or, have literally been doing like performing arts their entire lives and have been in the productions at the Arts and Culture Center and different things like that. So I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do that. But then I was like, I just went for it. I was like, okay. And talking about like the doubt and everything, I had, I hope the people that said this to me are not watching. I had one person say to me, I jokingly said, like, I applied for this job and I'm super excited and I probably won't get it. I'm probably too old to be a princess. Like, what am I going at 33 applying for a princess job? And she was like, yeah, you probably are. And I was like, okay, okay, cool. I love that. Thanks for that. And then I had another person say, not to my face, but I heard about it say, um, what a waste of my brilliant mind. And I was like, okay. So the fact that I'm doing what I love to do didn't count for anything to, these people, right? So anyway, so yeah, Eliza says she didn't look at any other video after she saw mine. It was like an instant, she is what I'm looking for. And and Eliza went on a holiday right after she hired me. I literally did my first party with like no training. I just jumped in there and just went for it. But I grew up on like the Disney classics, and I grew up again, around music has been a part of my life. I've been performing since I was 6, but I never got to perform in this capacity, like on a stage or like, yeah, like actual productions where I get to dress up and I get to dance and I get to sing. I was very heavily involved in my church growing up. So I sang in church a lot. I sang in like choir at school and those sorts of things. And I still love that and I still do that and it's great. But I have had no training, and that is one of the things that Sheena was like, "Yeah, tell us about your music school and this." And when I was like, I actually have no training for music," she was like, "What?" And you can't. I'm losing my voice right now, so pardon my squeak. But yeah, she was like, "What? Whoa! Like you haven't been to music school?" And I was like, "No." And that was very flattering. So thank you for that because it was kind of like she expected that. Oh, you must have gone to school. So yeah, I guess I am kind of like breaking those traditional um, concepts or whatever that everybody has that you have to have the training. Like I didn't even write in my like when I sent my cover letter, I wrote, I am a stay-at-home mom, but I know all the Disney classics and whatever. And I was like, I think I wrote that I had won a scholarship. That was literally the only thing I had to my name was that I won a vocal scholarship one year at Salvation Army Band Camp. So I did. I was 16 and I won this like $1,000 scholarship to go to like a music school for the summer. the fall, and it had to be used within the year or whatever. And that was literally the only like claim that I had. And I was like, that was it. So yeah, so I just kind of went with it and I applied for the job. And within 2 months, Eliza was like, I want you to co-manage this company with me. So I'm pretty much the face of Dream Parties. If you're hiring Elsa, it's most likely that you're going to get me, even though Eliza looks more like her. Eliza's taken a step back from the performing. And yeah, it's been mostly me doing it. And I absolutely love it. I never ever thought that I would get to do this in this capacity. And it's been really cool because one of the things I want to touch on is like imposter syndrome. Like that is a very real thing. I'm sure we've all been there where we've had that like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't belong here, or this is not the thing that like, I just don't know what I'm doing. Right. And I still, like struggle with that a little bit because again, so I've done 4 or 5 shows, 4 shows, 4 shows at the Majestic. Yeah. And those shows were like, those are like what I call like the real, the real shows. So I'm like, festivals are great, but like you just pick your music and you just go. But like the Majestic is like, I know it's not Arts and Culture Center dream. That's where we want to go. One day we would love to have something at the Arts and Culture Center. It would be amazing. But yeah, like that very first rehearsal that I went to, I just remember being there and being like surrounded by this amazing, talented group of people. Again, all super trained, all super experienced. And the voice in my head just kept saying, you don't belong here. Like, you do not belong here with these people. And every time that like I felt my performance or my whatever was like a little less than, I would come home and there were many times I almost was like, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to stay in the show. Because I would like, we're all our own worst critics, right? So I would come home and I'd be like, I'd remember the one note that was a little bit flat. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe that, or whatever. And I would just be like, I can't do it. I'm not going to keep going. And yet, I guess my love and my passion for it, I just kept coming back. And it's been really cool to see how like, and so one of the things that I do to kind of like get past that like imposter syndrome and like, again, that self criticism and that self doubt is to just remind myself of all the times that I have performed and that I have had people come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, like that was amazing," or "You're a really good singer," or like just random people being like, confirming, just kind of like confirming that. I'm like, I can't be that, I must be good at this if this is, so taking actual experiences where you've been affirmed and validated by other people and just reminding yourself of those, because we all need to be validated sometimes. Obviously, it's really important to have your own sense of worth and self-confidence and all of that. But it's okay. And I find it really helpful to draw on past experiences, right? And to look back at where I've been and to be like, oh yeah, like this is, use that to validate myself in those moments sometimes when I'm like feeling really like down on myself or feeling like, this is, uh, you know, I'm not as talented as I should be, or I don't have as much experience as I should have, or whatever. And it's been really cool because a few of the performers, there's 3 in particular. They are all super trained, have been doing this since they were young, and all 3 of them at the last show that we did, I had a much bigger role in the last show, and all 3 of these incredibly amazing performers basically told me, they're like, you have come so far with your performing. You have done so well. You're just like really coming into your own as a performer. And that just like really, again, just is like, okay, so they see the hard work I've put in, they see the passion and the energy. And I literally I went on a holiday just before a Christmas show and I was kind of like panicking a little because I was like, I have a really big role in this and a lot to do. And I was literally in the airport with my AirPods in dancing and like practicing my dance moves all by myself in the airport. So that was really cool. Um, so yeah, so that has really helped my self-confidence. And so I think just like, we all know this is why we're here, right? Surrounding ourselves with other people who can lift us up and encourage us and remind us of our strengths and our value and our worth is really, really important. Um, so I also, I think it's, a good thing too, is to always acknowledge your shortcomings. Um, there are a lot of there's a lot of people who are maybe I shouldn't say that, but there are definitely people out there who, have you ever met that person who's like really defensive? Anytime you're like, oh, maybe you should do this, or maybe um, have you thought about this thing, or they get kind of their back up and they're like, oh, but that won't work because of this or whatever, and they get kind of defensive. It's almost like they don't want to be told how they can make things better, or think about something they missed or whatever. I think that knowing your shortcomings and acknowledging them and seeking the help or partnership of somebody who might have more knowledge than you is a good thing. So coming back to the imposter syndrome and kind of so the Christmas show, I was asked to be the musical director for the show, and I was like, nope, can't do. And then Eliza really, really encouraged me. She was like, but you're so good at harmony and you're really good at like picking those things out. And I was like, again, I don't have any training though. I was like, I just do everything by ear. I do read music, but I can't, like, it's a very hard thing to teach, like how to do a harmony. So anyway, I was feeling really, really not confident about it. And then when I was on my holiday, our old musical director, Kate, she is absolutely incredible. She came on board. And if I'm completely honest, I was a little bit um like, oh, I got kind of uptight. I was like, that means I'm not doing my job well. They felt they had to bring someone else in. And there was sort of this you know, intimidation factor, I guess. Like it was like, okay, this is kind of confirming how I feel. But then it was like Kate came in and I decided to use her as like um as a guide, as a help. Like she's been doing this forever. She has way more experience than I do, and that's okay. That is okay. So I just had to kind of like be okay with the fact that um I don't have the most experience in the room, and that this person can help me grow and help me learn and help me do this going forward and be a support for me. And so and a couple of times I did just sort of, well, for the most part, actually, I kind of was like, you know what, this is what I was doing. How does this sound to you? How can we make this better? How can we clean this up and make this more um, sound nice or whatever? And she really took the reins and went with it. And I just embraced the fact that she had more knowledge and could be a source of guidance for me. So, um, and Eliza often says, I'm the other half of her brain. So she is, and she openly admits this is not something she would be embarrassed for me to say. She is really not great at like or the organizational stuff. So when I stepped in and she kind of saw how like I was looking ahead at the schedule just naturally and being like, oh, this, that, and the other thing. Did you think about this? And she's like, you are really good at this. You are really good at being just like organized and on the ball with those sorts of things. So like for the party room, for example, we have to, just the normal things like making sure that the bookings that are coming up, all the things are there that we need, are, set up and whatever. And she like just that was not something that she was really great at. And she would sometimes miss bookings because she also runs another business as well. So she'd be like in the middle of taking a booking and then some emergency would come up with bus tours and she'd not send the message and or forget to add it to the schedule or whatever. And and that's, it happens. We're all human. So she was like, you are really, really good at this, and I'm not. And it was like that acknowledgement of like that. So on the other side of it, like I really, really suck at technology. Literally trying to do this today. I was like, Sheena, aren't you so glad you picked someone who's this technologically challenged? Because it's just like I had my husband down here being like, can you see, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Um, so that is something with the like with the business that is still like a learning thing that I'm not super confident with, but I'm okay with that. I acknowledge it and I say, I'm really not great at this. And I think at some point, like, um, Eliza's probably going to have to train me a little bit, but she does a great job with the socials. So like, and yeah, Sheena's going to help me. We were stood at the mall market for quite a while trying to be like, she's like, are you on Instagram? And I was like, what? No, I don't know how to use Instagram. And then she's like, no, you are on Instagram. And I was like, really? Okay, cool. She's just like, no. And she's like, do you have a group? I'm like, what do you mean? I have a Facebook page. I don't know. And Eliza is like so good with all that stuff. So acknowledging that she's good at that, so she does it. That's her thing. Like she engages with the social media. I do a little bit if it's something that's more like my jam, but or an event that I did. Sometimes I'll like post a picture and put something, but for the most part, like Eliza's running the ads for the events and stuff like that. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, you know what? That's her jam. My jam is like the managing and stuff behind the scenes. And I think that that's really cool. Just being able to acknowledge that that's not really my strength. Um, and she's really good at it. So we work really well together. And as you said, the universe brought us together. It was like the perfect timing for both of us. Um, so that's really cool. Um, so one of the things too, that I kind of wanted to touch on as well. So we've been trying to like get into doing some event planning. And the very first, I'm trying to think what the very first event was that we did actually. It might have been a clay day. Yes. So we did a partnership with Clay Cafe where they like came into our space and they brought um,
Oh,
their clay their clay stuff and it would always be themed. So we'd have like they did mugs was first one was Elsa and Anna and we had little mugs and they had Olaf kind of already sketched out on it for the kids to paint or whatever. And I remember leading up to that event, I was just like I again just lack of confidence there, just being like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, and it was everything to like, how am I setting up the tables? How does this look like? I've never run an event before. Is there, and it was again, I didn't even have to do that much because Clay Cafe did it all. But I went in and I ran that event and it was just like so seamless and so perfect. And it was just super fun. Like I can't even like it was sold out. It was a sold out. We had two slots. They were both jam packed, and it was just like a super great event. Yeah, and Clay Cafe is amazing. We love partnering with local businesses as much as we can to do cool events like that. So then fast forward a little bit, we had a few events, but like Eliza did most of the planning. And then she wanted to do an Easter event. And just things were really busy in her life. And she was just like, I just don't have the bandwidth for this right now. And I just stepped out there and I was like, do you want me to plan it? And then I was like, wait, what? Did I just say that? Um, who said that? Okay. So then so I went ahead and planned it and it was a very sweet little event that we did. So we did a scavenger hunt. I came up with all the clues on my own. Um, and then we had to like go around the room and find the different clues and they were all like princess oriented and stuff. It was really sweet. And there were 10 clues. Then when they got to their last clue, they had their little baggie of craft supplies and we all went out to the table and they made Rapunzel egg. So I figured it was very springtime. So I dressed as Rapunzel for that event. And it was so cute that like now it's just going to be an annual thing. Eliza was like, we should do this every year, have a different princess, style a different. So the egg literally looked like the egg that we decorated literally looked like Rapunzel. Like it was like her hair and like the kids put flowers in it and we gave it little ears to make it look like a bunny. It was really cute. So this year it's going to be Elsa. So we're going to do an Elsa and glittery eggs and do the scavenger hunt and everything. So like the event that I came up with, and I'm like still a little bit like, what? No, that's doesn't feel like, but the event that I came up with is now going to be like just an annual event, and we're going to do it with different princesses, and then we're going to have this whole collection of like little eggs, and the kids can collect them. It'll be so cute. Um, so it's I think trusting your ideas and trusting in yourself, and again seeking when you need to, seeking that feedback from other people, like what do you think about this idea, or what do you think about this event, and like brainstorming with other people is a great way to sort of like boost your confidence in your ideas as well. um I planned a pajama event as well. That one was really fun, like a sleepover type event. And again, I did that one all by myself. Eliza was out of the country at the time, and I organized that like top to bottom. And one of our really senior performers, Jayla, she's excellent, and we got talking, and she was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. And then she like just her enthusiasm, and again that little bit of like, she was like, oh well, did you think about this or did you think about that? And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. So that was really cool. It was really cool to be able to like again put my idea out there, as like sometimes scary as it is, right? Because you're inviting so much criticism sometimes. Like, I mean, parents do like doing things with kids is like, parents are, and I get it. I'm a parent. Like, they expect, they have a very high standard for like these events that they're spending money for their kids. They want to make these beautiful memories with their kids, and if it's anything less than like, nothing's perfect, but like if it's anything less than, it's like, and like, and again, I get it. I'm not, like I am a parent, and you absolutely want like a beautiful experience. And we pride ourselves on being um like Disney, almost like Disney magic, even though we're not like, not every kid gets to go to Disney. And it's really cool to be able to offer a really nice experience here. So, putting that out there it's a little scary. And like saying, then just like launching this event, hoping that other people think your idea is as cool as you think it is, it's scary. And honestly, there is no fail safe for that, for being like completely confident in it. But I think choosing every day to put your ideas out there anyway, and just see what happens, and see if they build traction. And even if you doubt the viability of that idea or the veracity of it, it's like you should still do it. And I think that that's just like a conscious choice that you have to make. And you just tell the doubter in your head to shut up, take a back seat. I'm doing this, and it's going to be great. Um, and so another thing that I have, so I'm a passionate reader. I love to read. I was telling Sheena, I wish I could have done this up in my reading room, because I have a room upstairs that's wall to wall, floor to ceiling bookshelves. I recently reorganized it, and I got rid of a few books, not very many. My husband was like, "You're getting rid of books?" Um, and there were over 400 books in there. Anyways, I digress. I've read them all too. I went to Chapters and got a big stack of books for my birthday, and the girl's like, "Oh, stocking up, are you?" I was like, "Yeah, I've read everything on my shelf." And she was like, "Really?" And I was like, yeah. So I love to read, and it's been really important to me to instill a love of reading in my girls. And it's really, really sweet to watch how they engage with books. And we're like into reading chapter books, and it's just a super sweet thing. And so I love this because now it's brought like my passion, like for music and performing and all those things like that. And it's brought my passion for reading, and it's brought my passion for like being a mom and being a, mother, all together into this one thing. So I decided to launch Bell Book Club. So that has just started. I just did that in January, and even leading, so I actually wanted to do it in September, like with the going back to school kind of thing. I was like, let's do this, and I honestly, I think I just got busy planning some of the other events and just didn't get on the ball with promoting it. And as it was getting closer to the new year, I was like, this has to happen. This has to happen. And I had 3 kids at my first book club. And you know, and that's okay. I was completely fine with that. It was so wholesome. It was so good for my soul. And like just getting to chat with some of the parents, like one of the moms in particular was like, I absolutely love this. I love the idea. And you know, and she's like, you didn't get paid. You didn't make your money here today. And I was like, I don't care. I'm just passionate about this. Like it's a passion project of mine. And and it was just super sweet. So it's a very basic event. If you guys know anybody, tell people about it because it's super fun. So we do it the last Saturday of every month. And it's this one in particular is for preschool kids, but the dream is to host 3 different, maybe even 4 if I'm really ambitious, 4 different book clubs. So I want to have a preschool age one, then I want to have something for like say 6 to 10 maybe, like with chapter books, like the kind that I'm reading with my daughter Ophelia, who is 7. And we would actually read a couple chapters together. They go home, they finish the book, like a real book club, come back, we have a little chat about it, and maybe do an activity that's related to the book or whatever. And I want to do an adult book club. We have a partnership with like different caterers now, since we also have the dream room, which I might touch on in a minute. Um, so we could have like a wine and cheese and have our little book club and stuff. And I do believe there's a market for it. There are lots of people out there who love cosplay and love, you know, are like huge Disney nerds who would love to just come and dress up and do book club. And like Chapters or Indigo did like a study on, you know, they just like sent out surveys to people. And there's so many people out there who have talked about wanting to scroll less. And so their whole thing is like scroll less, read more. And I love that. And so like I think it would be cool to do something with that. We could, again, you don't have to come dressed as a princess. You can come as any character from anything. And like maybe we do a villains night, maybe we'll do a superheroes night. Like I do think that that would be a really cool community for us to have. Um, so again, I started with 6 kids. So then my second one I started with 3. My second one I had 6 kids. So we doubled. So I was like, yeah. So I'm hoping that we can just like keep doubling it. But again, there is this the little bit of the niggling doubt, right? And when I started this, because I was like, and this is a sad reality, but I was like, there are a lot of parents who don't read to their kids. No parent is going to want to bring their kid to this event. With like in my head, I'm like, I love to read. I love reading to my kids, but like, there's a lot of people who don't, and that's like the sad reality of where we're at. And it was like, is this gonna even be worth my time? Is it going to, yeah, is it going to be worth my time? And there was that little bit of, you know, but I put it out there and I did it anyway. And we're just hoping that I'm hoping that it's going to take off a little bit. And yeah, I think it was the second one. There was a mom that came and she was like, this is so cute. And before the event was even over, she was like, how do I book for all the rest? How do I book for the rest of them? So that was really cool. Um, so yeah, I think that the um the only way to fail is to stop trying. That is the only way that you can fail is to just not try, to not put your ideas out there. And that's really the you know, the gist of it for me. And to anybody who's out there who has these expectations, I'm gonna get kicked out soon. So um has those expectations that you have to do a certain thing. Again, like Sheena said at the beginning, like you get your degree, you have to do this. No, you don't. You have to do what you're passionate about. You have to do what brings you joy, and you have to do what gives you purpose. And I have found that in this job, and I wish that for all of my fellow entrepreneurs, all of my fellow business owners, that sort of thing, that you guys find the joy and the passion and the energy, and just remember to tell the self doubt to take a back seat and to shut up and to just keep going and seek out those people and come to things like this. I'm definitely going to be following this now, Sheena, or come to
Yes.
things like this. Yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
to build yourself up. Thank you, Sheena.
Oh, this has been great. Like, Lindsay, having you come on, I think it just speaks to the legacy mastermind. Like, it was an idea that I had that I'm running with, and it'll start with one or two people. And sometimes, like, I'll go, is the person going to show up? Is next month's going to run? Should I just stop? Should I just make the, like, should I just cancel now and not keep going? But, like, people are showing up and people are engaged and they're happy to be asked. And like I said, it doesn't matter how many people might show up tonight, but they're going to watch it back. So thank you for coming. I'm so appreciative of you. I love what you're doing with the kids and literacy. So thank you. And I'm glad you're going to follow along. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
keep
Yeah,
doing
it was
what you're
just,
doing. We love it.
and you too. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Excellent. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you next month.